Don't be disappointed. It's time to plan your 2026 Alaskan cruise, and who better to take you there than Princess? 2025 cruises sold out at a record pace. The time to buy 2026 is now, and we're going to show you the best of the best. Cruising Alaska for 55 years and winning multiple awards for Best Cruise Line, Princess is the leader in Alaska. My name's Andrew, and welcome back to Tidal Horizons. We're a specialist in all things related to Princess Cruises, and we're here to bring you the latest news, reviews, and features. Come with me now as we look at Princess's 2026 Alaska program, from the ships, cruise tours, to the itineraries, including a new ship for Alaska that you need to try out. We'll also be looking at some lesser traveled ports of call. Alaska is a nature lover's dream with abundant wildlife both on land and at sea. As soon as you set sail, keep watch for humpback and orca whales, seals, and otters. Along the shore, watch for bears, moose, and other species. Alaska also has a rich history of exploration and, of course, gold mining being the gateway to the Yukon's Klondike region. And, of course, let's not forget the stars of the show, the glaciers. Many cruises feature Glacier Bay National Park, where you'll spend a full day scenic cruising to the heart of the park, where you can observe icebergs and calving glaciers in action. Princess will have 8 ships operating in Alaska in 2026, with at least one ship representing each class of ship that Princess is currently running. First, we'll start with the small ships in the Coral class, and quite frankly one of my favorites in the Island Princess and the Coral Princess. While I haven't been on the Coral since 2008, I did spend a considerable amount of time on board her twin sister, the Island Princess, in the fall of 2023. I love this size of ship. She's large enough to have all the hallmarks of a princess ship, from restaurants to entertainment, without feeling like you're constantly hiking the length of a football field to get anywhere. I really hope these 2 small ships stay in the fleet for years to come. Next, the class of ship that redefined the modern Princess fleet, the Grand Class. First, she may be the oldest ship in the fleet, but she's still a wonderful ship to sail on. The Grand Princess ushered in the modern era of Princess ships back in 1998, but there's nothing old or worn out about her. She was built right and features all the modern technology of her younger sisters. Next, the Emerald Princess, second to last of the Grand Class ships, delivered in 2007, and finally the Ruby Princess, the last of the Grand Class ships, delivered to Princess in 2008. What I absolutely love about these 3 ships is that they have a complete promenade deck that includes the walkway on Deck 8 around the bow of the ship for incredible views. This is something sorely lacking on the newer ships, and definitely a reason to book your cruise on one of these ships. There's nothing like cruising through Alaska with these vantage points. The Royal Princess is at the larger end of the scale with 3,560 passengers. She and the Discovery Princess are the newest ships Princess has in Alaska in 2025, but not in 2026. They are both Royal Class ships, with the Discovery Princess being the final one delivered in 2022. If you're looking for a suite, the forward-facing suites on Deck 9 through 12 are an outstanding way to see Alaska from your bedroom, especially as you sail into Glacier Bay. Finally, the brand new Sphere class is represented in Alaska in 2026 by the Star Princess. Launching in October 2025, she'll bring the modern design to Alaska with more windows and outward-looking design that will be game-changing. If you haven't had a look at the Sphere class of ship yet, check out my Sun Princess review after this video. With LNG power and the most modern systems available, she'll have a lower environmental impact than most ships. We can't wait to see the real thing beside the glaciers. We're going to move into the itineraries now, but it's a great time to remind you to like this video, subscribe so you can see more cruise reviews and planning videos. We have lots more coming soon. Be sure to comment too. I always try and reply, and I'd love talking cruise with you. We aren't going to look at every itinerary variation, so be careful when looking at the site, or use a travel agent to make sure you get what's most important to you. Let's first jump into the 7-day northbound and southbound trips on board Discovery, Island, Coral, and Grand Princess. This is your classic 7-day Alaskan cruise with 2 scenic cruising periods in Glacier Bay and College Fjord. Many people taking the north or southbound cruise and not a round trip are combining with a land package to make a cruise tour. We aren't going to go in depth on the cruise tour packages because they are involved and there are many, many variations. What I will say is Princess does this part better than anyone with their direct to the wilderness train service and numerous lodges in Denali, Mount McKinley, Copper River, and more. A cruise tour is the absolute best way to see Alaska. If you do choose to start or finish your cruise in Whittier, you should know that it's approximately an hour and a half from the port to the airport in Anchorage. Let's move on and look at the round trip options now. We'll cover all the ports in the next few sections. Next, let's look at the round trip from Vancouver voyages with the Diamond, Emerald, and Coral Princesses all sailing this itinerary. Vancouver is one of the easiest cities to sail from with its abundant hotels, steps from the cruise port. It's also one of the most scenic departures as you sail under the Lionsgate Bridge. A highlight port on this itinerary is Juneau, Alaska, the capital city of Alaska with a population of around 31,000 people. The port area is filled with shops and attractions. You can also ride the Mount Roberts Tramway, Alaska's only aerial tramway, but the highlight of the region is the easily accessible Mendenhall Glacier, one of Alaska's most visited attractions. There is an excellent visitor center and easy walking and hiking paths to take you close to the glacier. Often you can find package excursions for the glaciers combined with whale watching. It's usually peak time for humpback whales during the cruise season. If you prefer, there are also 7-day round-trip cruises from Seattle on board the Royal Princess with scenic cruising in Glacier Bay. Port order varies, but you'll usually be treated to a stop in beautiful Victoria, British Columbia. Nicknamed the City of Gardens, you can walk for miles amongst the flowers and green spaces, go for tea at the Empress Hotel, or hop on a local boat and go whale watching for orcas. The cruise terminal is less than a 1 kilometer easy walk away from the harbor area of Victoria, where major attractions can be found. Finally, you can cruise aboard the brand new Star Princess, sister ship to the Sun Princess, round trip from Seattle. This cruise stops at all the same ports as the Royal Princess, but cruises Endicott and Dawes Glaciers instead of Glacier Bay. The real attraction here is going to be the ship itself. For me, a 10-day Alaska cruise is perfect, and the round trip from San Francisco on board Ruby Princess hits all the right targets. You'll of course visit Ketchikan, Juneau, Skagway, and do scenic cruising along Endicott Arm and Dawes Glacier. The new port on this voyage is Prince Rupert, British Columbia, rather than visiting Victoria or Vancouver. Prince Rupert is located near the British Columbia and Alaskan border and is the gateway to the Great Bear Rainforest. Hiking, whale watching, sea kayaks, and more are key activities in the area. You can also ride the rails or connect with First Nations indigenous population. There's a ton to see and do in this rarely visited Pacific port. Another great option for a longer cruise to fully explore the primary Alaskan ports is the 14-day inside passage from Vancouver with Glacier Bay, twice on board the Island, Coral, Grand, or Discovery Princesses. There are less ports during this itinerary, but it all depends on what you're looking for. You'll be stopping at all the major Alaska cruise ports, as well as 2 stops in Glacier Bay and Skagway, which is a town right out of the gold rush. The highlight for many in Skagway is the White Pass and Yukon Railway. There are a few different options here to take the train up the White Pass or for hikers who just want to lift up the hill. There's a scenic journey not to be forgotten. The town itself is worth exploring with fantastic little museum, shops, and of course the famous Red Onion Saloon, an 1890s brothel turned museum and restaurant. Well worth the visit. Take a walking tour of the town and get to know the history. This is where the real gold rush started from. Twice in this cruise is a visit to the unbelievable Glacier Bay National Park. Most ships will visit the Marjorie and the Grand Pacific Glacier at the top of the bay, right next to the Alaska and Yukon border, followed by the Hopkins Glacier. The whole day is narrated by the National Park Service with rangers on board to answer your questions and stamp your National Parks passports if you wish. Just have a look at this view. Ketchikan is known for a lot of things, but its most important is fishing. It's the salmon capital of the world. In September 2021, we took a salmon fishing trip while on board the Majestic Princess. We caught quite a few fish and were able to bring back a beautiful silver salmon packed in ice with the appropriate documentation filled out by our charter captain. We were met by a representative on board who took the fish, our preferences, to the chef, where it was prepared and served to us the following night. What a treat. Now we're getting into the really long itineraries. This is a 16-day trip from Los Angeles, and again, it hits most of the major ports, but unlike the previous one from San Francisco, we're going to visit Sitka and Icy Strait Point. Icy Strait Point, Alaska is a very small port of only 750 residents and is rich in native heritage. There are lots of tours available, including the world's longest zip rider from the top of Hoona Mountain, 1,550 feet above the sea, back down to the beach. It's over 5,000 feet of zip line to get down. If you don't get your fill in Icy Strait Point, that's okay, because Sitka is next. Sitka is only available by air or sea. It offers fantastic scenery, fishing, and hiking opportunities. Learn about native culture, visit the Alaska Raptor Center, or go whale watching. There's a ton to do here. Finally, we have the ultimate 20-day Alaska Solstice cruise with Glacier Bay sailing round trip from San Francisco. This cruise has a total of 9 ports and 4 scenic cruising days. In addition to the ports available on the 16-day, it also adds Endicott Arm and Dawes Glacier, scenic cruising, as well as Valdez, Alaska. Valdez is located in the Prince William Sound close to the Columbia Glacier, which is the second largest tidewater glacier, ending in the 300-foot high face. Several tour companies offering day trips depending on timing and availability. Alaska truly has something for everyone. I can't wait to return soon, perhaps in 2026, and check out some of the lesser traveled ports we've talked about here. While there are lots of cruise lines to choose from, Princess for me really is the expert here and does it right. I don't think you can go wrong. So what do you love about Alaska? What are you planning a visit? Leave a comment below and let us know. If you enjoyed this video, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us grow and bring the latest cruise news and information to you. Thanks for watching.